In the last part of this series, part 4, we dealt with the first major judgment that our Father brought upon this earth. This was during the days of Noah, and our Messiah said that in the last days it will be as the days of Noah. So it's important that we deal with that understanding, because as it was shown, most people are not ready and they take this time of grace for granted. But there will be a time that comes when people will be begging for Yah's protection and he will not hear them. And so it's important that you live in reality today. So let me just say a few words about this series. The goal of this series is to be an educational course on the truth of this world. There are churches on every corner, but even as these end times approach, the majority of this world live in complete lies, and they just know religion. I am making this so that if someone truly desires to understand what is wrong with this world and understand what religion is keeping from you, and you want to preserve your mind for our Father and his kingdom, I want there to be a comprehensive resource that all who desire the truth can come to. So if you're just coming to these videos, please don't jump around because you will miss important points. If you go through this series video by video, it should help wake you up. As we have been going through this, consider this like the peeling of an onion. The world has tried to keep us trapped in the matrix and living through lies. And this series is peeling back through the layers to help you live in truth. Everyone is different and programmed by different agendas. So it's not possible to say just one thing and just wake everyone up. But if you're taken through the progression of truth, you will be awakened. And this is what this series is for. And this subject we are about to get into is a major part of this understanding. In order to truly understand what is going on in this world, you must understand the beginning of rebellion in this world. You need to understand the beginning of religion. And so therefore, we must discuss the birth of paganism. In order to discuss paganism, you need to be introduced to an important biblical character that is not truly taught to you, but he is extremely important to understand. So in order that you understand this world, you must understand the beginning of the sun god and who the world truly worships. You must understand the beginning of rebellion. Therefore, you must understand Nimrod, the king of Babylon. Let's begin. To begin to understand this, we need to go back to where we ended in part 4. Noah and his sons and their wives came off the ark, and our Father told them to repopulate the earth. Now, I will be going into this deeper because all these children matter, and where they scatter to, it matters. But understanding that comes after this topic. Now, when we understand the children of the sons of Noah, the book of Jasher also explains these children. So we will go to the book of Jasher to understand this. So follow this. The sons of Noah came off the ark, and they did as they were commanded, and they had children. Jasher chapter 7 writes, and please forgive me on these pronunciations. And these are the names of the son of Noah, Japheth, Ham, and Shem. And children were born to them after the flood, for they had taken women before the flood. These are the sons of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras, 7 sons. And the sons of Gomer were Ashkenaz, Rephath, and Togarmah. And the sons of Magog were Elikanath and Labal. And the children of Madai were Achan, Zelo, Shazani, and Lot. Please note that's not Abraham's nephew Lot, FYI. And the sons of Javan were Elisha, Tarshish, Katim, and Dodanim. And the sons of Tubal were Arifi, Kasid, and Tari. And the sons of Meshech were Dedan, Zarin, and Shabashni. And the sons of Tiras were Benib, Gera, Lepirion, and Gilak. These are the sons of Japheth according to their families, and their numbers in those days were about 460 men. And these are the sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan, 4 sons. And the sons of Cush were Seba, Havilah, Sapta, Rama, and Sateka. And the sons of Rama were Sheba and Dedan. And the sons of Mizraim were Lud, Anam, and Pathros, Chasloth, and Chafdor. And the sons of Put were Gabal, Hayden, Benah, and Adan. And the sons of Canaan were Zidon, Heth, Amori, Gagashi, Hivi, Arki, Seni, Arodi, Zemodi, and Shamathi. These are the sons of Ham according to their families, and their numbers in those days were about 730 men. And these are the sons of Shem, Elam, Asher, Arpachshad, Lud, and Aram, 5 sons. And the sons of Elam were Shushan, Makul, and Harman. And the sons of Asher were Myris and Mokil. And the sons of Arpachshad were Shalach, Anar, and Ashkul. And the sons of Lud were Pethor and Bizian. And the sons of Aram were Uz, Chul, Gar, and Mash. These are the sons of Shem according to their families, and their numbers in those days were about 300 men. These are the generations of Shem. Shem begot Arpachshad, and Arpachshad begot Shalach, and Shalach begot Eber, and to Eber were born 2 children. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days the sons of men were divided. In the latter days, the earth was divided. And the name of the second was Yoktan, meaning that in his day the lives of the sons of men were diminished and lessened. These are the sons of Yoktan: Almadad, Shalaf, Chazmaroth, Yarak, Hadoram, Ozel, Dikla, Obal, Abimel, Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jobab. All these are the sons of Yoktan. And Peleg his brother begat Yen, and Yen begat Serug, and Serug begat Nachor, and Nachor begat Tarak, and Tarak was 38 years old, and he begot Haran and Nachor. Jasher chapter 7, verses 1 through 22. Okay, and I know that's a lot, and maybe when you're reading, you can think that it's all inconsequential and doesn't matter, but it all does matter. And after we get through all this that we're about to discuss with Nimrod, I will go back to this because it can help you understand the world that you live in today, because these people later scattered after the Tower of Babel. But if you have this basis of understanding, this is what the beginning looked like after the flood. This is the children that populated the earth. And so after the flood, Noah's sons, they populated this earth with all these children. These are the sons, and they just continue to grow from this. Now, what we're going to do is focus on the line of Ham, because that leads us to Nimrod. We'll continue reading Jasher chapter 7. And Cush, the son of Ham, the son of Noah, took a woman in those days in his old age, and she bore a son, and they called his name Nimrod, saying, at that time the sons of men again began to rebel and transgress against Elohim. And the child grew up, and his father loved him exceedingly, for he was the son of his old age. And the garments of skin which Elohim made for Adam and his woman when they went out of the garden, they were given to Cush, for after the death of Adam and his woman, the garments were given to Enoch, the son of Yared. And when Enoch was taken up to Elohim, he gave them to Methuselah, his son. And at the death of Methuselah, Noah took them and brought them into the ark, and they were with him until he went out of the ark. And in their going out, Ham stole those garments from Noah his father, and he took them and hid them from his brothers. And when Ham begot his firstborn Cush, he gave him the garments in secret, and they were with Cush many days. And Cush also concealed them from his sons and brothers. And when Cush had begotten Nimrod, he gave them those garments through his love for him. And Nimrod grew up, and when he was 20 years old, he put on those garments. And Nimrod became strong when he put on the garments. And Elohim gave him might and strength. And he was a mighty hunter in the earth. Yeah, he was a mighty hunter in the field. And he hunted the animals, and he built altars. And he offered upon them the animals before Yahweh. And Nimrod strengthened himself. And he rose up from amongst his brethren. And he fought the battles of his brethren against all the enemies round about. And Yahweh delivered all the enemies of his brethren in his hands. And Elohim prospered him from time to time in his battles, and he reigned upon the earth. Therefore it became current in those days, when a man ushered forth those that he had trained up for battle, he would say to them, like Elohim did to Nimrod, who was a mighty hunter in the earth, and who succeeded in the battles that prevailed against his brethren, that he delivered them from the hands of their enemies. So may Elohim strengthen us and deliver us this day. And when Nimrod was 40 years old, at that time there was a war between his brethren and the children of Japheth, so that they were in the power of their enemies. And Nimrod went forth at that time, and he assembled all the sons of Cush and their families, about 460 men. And he hired also some of his friends and acquaintances, about 80 men, and he gave them their hire. And he went with them to battle. And when he was on the road, Nimrod strengthened the hearts of the people that went with him. And he said to them, do not fear, neither be alarmed, for all our enemies will be delivered into our hands, and you may do with them as you please. And all the men that went were about 500, and they fought against their enemies, and they destroyed them and subdued them. And Nimrod placed standing officers over them in their respective places. And he took some of their children as security, and they all were servants to Nimrod and to his brethren. And Nimrod and all the people that were with him turned homeward. And when Nimrod had joyfully returned from battle, after having conquered his enemies, all his brethren, together with those who knew him before, assembled to make him king over them. And they placed a regal crown upon his head. And he set over his subjects and peoples, princes, judges, and rulers, as is the custom amongst kings. And he placed Tarak, the son of Nachor, the prince of his host. And he dignified him and elevated him above all his princes. And while he was reigning, according to his heart's desire, after having conquered all his enemies around, he advised with his counselors to build a city for his palace, and they did so. And they found a large valley opposite to the east, and they built him a large and extensive city. And Nimrod called the name of that city that he built Shinar, for Yahuwah had vehemently shaken his enemies and destroyed them. And Nimrod dwelt in Shinar, and he reigned securely, and he fought with his enemies, and he subdued them. And he prospered in all his battles, and his kingdom became very great. And all nations and tongues heard of his fame, and they gathered themselves to him, and they bowed down to the earth, and they brought him offerings, and he became their Adonai and king. And they all dwelt with him in the city at Shinar. And Nimrod reigned in the earth over all the sons of Noah, and they were all under his power and counsel. And all the earth was of one tongue and words of union. But Nimrod did not go in the ways of Yahuwah, and he was more wicked than all the men that was before him from the days of the flood until those days. And he made Elohim of wood and stone and bowed down to them, and he rebelled against Yahuwah and taught all his subjects and the people of the earth his wicked ways. And Mardon his son was more wicked than his father. That's Jasher chapter 7 verses 23 through 47. All right. So this is the introduction to Nimrod. There is not much written in the book of Genesis about Nimrod except it concurring with what we just read in Jasher. He writes, Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before Yahuwah. Therefore it is said, like Nimrod, the mighty hunter before Yahuwah. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Arak, Akkad, and Kalna in the land of Shinar. Genesis chapter 10 verses 8 through 10. For reference, when they write the land of Shinar, they are referring to the land of Mesopotamia. Now, if we rely on these maps that they give us, they say this is the modern day land of Iraq, just for a reference point. This is where it was. But this is the introduction to Nimrod, and Nimrod is extremely important when it comes to understanding paganism in this world. He is worshipped by this world to this day, and he must be understood first. According to Albert Mackey's Masonic Dictionary, in reference to Nimrod, he writes, the legend of the craft in the old constitutions referred to Nimrod as one of the founders of Freemasonry. Thus, in the York Manuscript number 1, we read, at you making of your Tower of Babel, there was masonry, first much esteemed of, and the king of Babylon was called Nimrod, was a mason himself, and loved well masons. And the Cook Manuscript thus repeats the story. In this same Nimrod began the Tower of Babel, and he taught to workmen the craft of masonry. And he had with them many masons, more than 40,000, and he loved and cherished them well. The idea no doubt sprang out of the scriptural teaching that Nimrod was the architect of many cities, a statement not so well expressed in the authorized version as it is in the improved one of Bokart, which says, from that land Nimrod went forth to Asher and built Nineveh and Rehoboth city and Calah and Rezin between Nineveh and Calah, that is the great city. That's what's written. Please understand that Nimrod is the founder of Freemasonry, and it is him who the world has been worshiping since the beginning after the flood. He had the garments of Adam that Yahuwah made Adam, and apparently it gave some sort of power. And over time, he built a kingdom, and in time, he grew in great power. Nimrod is the beginning of the story of paganism, and everything in this world that you know today in regards to religion is about leading the world towards Nimrod's reappearance. You see, as Jasher explains at some point, Nimrod rebelled against Yahuwah, and he turned against Yahuwah, and being directed by Satan, Nimrod establishes the first world order. There are many different things written about Nimrod by various religions. What needs to be understood is that after the flood, Nimrod grew in wickedness and rebellion. Nimrod is the father of magic and witchcraft. He is the father of rebellion. He is linked to sorcery, magic, and rebellion in various traditions and legends. In many non-biblical sources, he is referred to as a powerful sorcerer or the inventor of magical arts, a master warlock who sold his soul for power, and a figure who used spells and incantations. In the writings, Recognition of Clements, these are works that date back to the early Christian church fathers. Now, it's not written by Clement of Rome, but a pseudo-Clement. When we read what is written in Book 4, chapter 29, it says, "First among whom is named a certain king, Nimrod, the magic art having been handed down to him as by a flash, whom the Greeks also call Ninus, and from whom the city of Nineveh took its name. Thus, therefore, diverse and erratic superstitions took their beginning from their magic art." If you look in history, Nimrod is known by different names. Like it says Ninus here. You'll also know him as Gilgamesh. The different cultures refer to him directly in different names. But in very simple terms, Nimrod is the father of rebellion. This name Nimrod is said to most likely come from the Semitic root mered, which means to rebel. Nimrod likely means one who rebels. And it is his spirit that the rebellious men and women of this world have taken hold of. Nimrod was claimed to be a very wicked man. As Jasher chapter 11 writes, "And notwithstanding this, Nimrod did not return to Yahweh, and he continued in wickedness and teaching wickedness to the sons of men. And Mardon, his son, was worse than his father, and continued to add to the abominations of his father. And he caused the sons of men to sin. Therefore it is said, from the wicked goes forth wickedness." Jasher chapter 11, verses 7 through 8. Just one note that this son Mardon did die before Nimrod. Here's what you must understand about Nimrod. In many occult and esoteric belief systems, Nimrod is interpreted as a revolutionary hero who rebelled against an oppressive god. He wasn't a villain, but looked at as a hero. Nimrod serves as a symbol of defiance and rebellion. The occult narratives portray Nimrod as a cunning figure who sought knowledge and power for humanity, challenging divine authority in the process. Many occultists claim that Nimrod established fire worship, idolatry, and received instruction in divination from dark sources. Nimrod was the first after the flood to start the rebellion that Satan has been trying to do ever since, which is to go up to heaven and challenge Yahweh, which is why Christians all feel like they're going to go to heaven, even though there's no promise from our Father to go to heaven. Everyone keeps trying to go up to heaven. This is Satan's goal, and we see the beginning of it with this man of rebellion, Nimrod. And it is the spirit of Nimrod that has spread throughout this world. The spirit of Nimrod is at the heart of the New World Order. It is about rebellion against Yahweh. And if you're going to wake up, you must place this figure of Nimrod in your understanding. Now it gets deep because as religion forms around him, he begins to be blended into different cultures, and I will discuss this soon. But because in Freemasonry, Nimrod is known as the founder of Freemasonry, it is obviously his spirit that permeates the earth. It is a spirit of rebellion, and that's what he founded. I caution you on how far you dig deep into it because it can lead you to a very dark side, a very satanic side. Just understand that Nimrod represents rebellion, and it is his spirit that is strong in this world today, which is guiding it. And so as you review religion and the many different influences, you will always see something that traces back to Nimrod. But because religion, particularly Christianity, they don't teach you about this rebellious figure and how the world is attached to him, of course you would not recognize it on your own. Please know and understand that this is by choice. You are not taught about Nimrod in full because most of the people in religion are in fact people who embody the spirit of Nimrod, and they are in alignment with his rebellion. And if you want to wake up, you must understand that point. Remember John's warning in his first epistle, chapter 4, verse 1. He says, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits, whether they are of Elohim, because many false prophets have gone out into the world." 1 John chapter 4, verse 1. You see, this is a pure spirit of rebellion, and it must be tested. And make sure you are not influenced by it or connected to it in any way. Simply put, after the flood, there was a king that emerged that learned witchcraft and sorcery and united the different people of this world to rebel against Yahweh. This king was called Nimrod, and he is the father of paganism. So before we go any deeper, we will discuss the actual rebellion. So that's what we're going to do next. So in the next part, we're going to discuss the Tower of Babel and Nimrod's rebellion against Yahuwah. So please, go to part 6 of this playlist and continue to grow in knowledge and in truth. Live your life in the truth and stay out of the lies, because the kingdom of Yahuwah is truly at hand. Be ready for it and be blessed. Hallelujah. Praise Yah. Okay, thanks again for watching. If this has blessed you, please make sure to like it and share it with others. Please share this with any of your family and your friends that say that they're trying to wake up. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe to this channel. Yah willing, I'll be uploading every Friday, Sunday, and Tuesday. Also, don't forget to follow this ministry on Facebook and Instagram to find out when these videos are posted. As always, I would like to give a special thank you to those who have donated and contributed to this ministry. Your contribution and your support are a huge blessing to this ministry. I thank you for your obedience to Yahweh's call on your heart. I'm humbled by your support, and I'm very thankful for you. Be blessed. Okay, thanks again for watching, everyone. I love you all.